So I'm going to open with Psalms 19:14. May these words of my mouth and this meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, Lord, my rock and my redeemer. I was born a daughter, granddaughter, great-granddaughter, sister, niece, and a cousin. My path has led me to accept Christ at the age of 11, become and or be a wife, mother, disciplinary, friend, support system, counselor, nurse, accounting clerk, mentor, giver, listener, co-worker, employee, employer, manager, and business owner. My journey I'm currently on. Never would I have thought that in all the days of my life that I would currently be on this journey. And so I began. Saturday, March the 12th, 2011, I woke up this morning and yesterday morning, and I didn't understand what feeling I was having until I was actually en route today. When I was asked to do this, I said, yeah, sure, put me down since last year sometime. I literally typed up this last night. So to make a long story short, on Saturday, March 12, 2011, my son, Caleb, was diagnosed, was rushed to the hospital. Don't take it back. He was, had a bronchitis attack, and that changed our lives forever. He was born with chronic bronchitis. He had a bronchitis attack, and normally what happens is he just, has his couple days down, and he reverts back to the normal little kid that he was at age 5. On Wednesday, March the 16th, I saw signs different. The afternoon, we went to take him a bath, wiped him down, getting ready to dry him off. I noticed on the left side of his chest wall, he had the size of a breast. It looked like he had a breast, had swollen up, which we rushed him to the hospital, and the nightmare began. Later on that night, after being in the hospital all night, waiting for them to transfer us from one hospital to the next, the doctor who was there was kind. He said, I'm not supposed to tell you this until we get all the test results back. He said, but your sign is showing signs of lymphoma. If anybody knows what lymphoma is, if you have any kind of medical background, it's typically cancer if it's lymphoma. So was transferred to Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, where we spent the next 29 days of our lives in agony, waiting, pain, everything. Tuesday, March the 29th of 2011, he was officially diagnosed with T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. As a mom of 5, as a mother who did foster care, for him being my baby child, the last one that I birthed physically, my life just began to stop. I began to walk out in the parking lot, and I looked at the picture where she went to the cute prayer on my hands and knees. Well, I'm a little bit more dramatic when I'm talking to God. I was screaming in the parking lot. Everybody probably thought this crazy woman, they just let her out. So he's my baby, he's 5. We don't understand, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get through this? And the nightmare just went. And so with all of this, we battled 3 years in the hospital, doctor's visit, living in a hospital. It actually became home to us, which is definitely not the normal. If you have ever dealt with a child who's going through cancer treatment, they know all kind of doctors and hospital terminologies versus their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. They learn so much so fast. And I can truly say in this journey, it began to strengthen me. I began to write, I began to pray. I've always been a prayer warrior, but I began to pray on a different level, in a different realm. And as time went on, because I cannot tell you the 3-year story, as time went on Thursday, June the 13th, my sister, who's a pastor, she's a preacher, she came in the room and we sat down. This was the Thursday before he passes, and she said, I see, God says foundation. And I looked at her in her face and I said, girl, you crazy. I don't want to deal with nothing after this is over. I want to go home, I want to love my kids, and that's all I want to do. Shows you how our plans are definitely jokes to God. On Sunday, June the 16th, 2013, was Father's Day, and we will actually repeat the same day this year, 6 years later. It will be Sunday, June the 16th, and it will be Father's Day this year for our family. We no longer said see you later, because in our family we don't say see you later, we say goodbye. And we had to say goodbye to Kenny. And from the emotionalness of seeing my children who were in high school, one of my children graduated, getting ready to go to college, the ups and downs, I can truly tell you guys that it's my foundation of accepting Christ at a young age and being brought up in the church. And not to say that it's ever easy, trust me. We use the cliche of saying, oh, you can just pray about it. But in those 3 years, sometimes I didn't want to pray. Sometimes I didn't want you to call me and talk to me. Sometimes I didn't want your encouraging quote. Right now, today, from 2011 to now, I'm not a texter. So if you know me, y'all know I didn't want to receive any of that stuff, because that's not what I needed. What I needed was my son to be whole. What I needed was my son to go home with my other children. What I needed was that love from him that now, about to be 6 years later, I will never get again from him. But with that, how do I do it? I'm glad you asked. God's grace. No, I can't say it's too easy, and no, I can't say that we, my family, we don't still have our moments. But I can say that God has never failed me yet, and I don't believe that this life event was just for me, but I believe it was to prepare me for the work that I do 365. I'm thankful that God has allowed my experiences to be the fire behind the work I do. I am Amberell Williams, the president of the Caleb Sullivan Williams BLAC Foundation, and if I trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not into my own understanding, but continue to acknowledge Him, He will continue to direct my path as I continue to survive my journey. Commissioner asked me to leave you guys with a word, a power word. So my power word for 2018 and 19 has been selfless. I just tell you guys today, become that person who goes out of the way just because, not asking or wanting anything in return.
Awesome.